All right, I wanted to do a comparison, a head-to-head between two very lightweight business laptops, premium business laptops that are great for on-the-go, battery life, obviously for optional 5G if you want to have that always-on connection, amazing durability, really great build and design, rock solid in terms of overall picture. And I think these two really stand out to me. There are others like the Dell Pro 14 Premium. We can do a head-to-head with that, with a few of these. But what I have here is the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13 and the Surface Laptop for Business. Now I have the 5G version, but I've also looked at the non-5G version. And as well as on the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, I looked at one with 5G and also with the Arrow Lake U processor, which allows for more RAM, 64 gigabytes in the model that I looked at. I will leave links for those videos, but I'm going to concentrate on the Lunar Lake versions. And those, of course, are more efficient and they will give you some pretty good graphics with the Intel Arc graphics. So that's what we're going to concentrate here today. Now, one thing to note on the Surface Laptop 5G for Business, this only comes in the Platinum, has a little bit of a different keyboard deck for the antenna layout for the maximum reception in 5G. And then of course, that has a touchpad that's haptic. This is the non-haptic version. This is the Core Ultra 7 in terms of the processor, but as far as the touchpad, I got the haptic version on the U series of that Arrow Lake U. Again, links for those videos in the description below. I know it gets a little bit confusing, but you can outfit the Lunar Lake version with 5G as well. So that is one of the reasons I wanted to really put these head to head, because I was able to take these on some business trips and they really shined in that area. We're having on the always on connection, the really good battery life, and I think the overall good performance of the Lunar Lake. Now, Lunar Lake is not going to blow you away. It's not going to be better in single or multi-core performance than, say, the M4 or the M5 that we looked at on the Apple side of things, but it certainly is going to be good in real-world usage, Microsoft Office, email, web browsing. You won't have any hiccups. You won't have any slowdowns. Hey, everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the showdown between the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13 and the Surface Laptop for Business. Coming up. All right, let's start off with the build and design, and I got to say they both are excellent in terms of build. Now, one thing you'll notice is this lightweight finish on the X1 Carbon. This comes in under 1 kilogram. It's actually pretty amazing because it's basically the weight of the X1 Nano that we used to know and love, but they discontinued that. But they were able to get its bigger sibling, the X1 Carbon, to under 1 kilogram. Pretty amazing. This one is a little bit heavier and has a more of a metal finish. So premium, MacBook-esque, Apple-esque, and that, of course, is a compliment. Still lightweight enough to take with you on the go, but not quite as lightweight as the X1 Carbon. Now, they both have an excellent build. This one has a military A10H rating. I think this one probably does also. But having used these, you know, the last few months, banging them around, they both look like pretty good. Now, one thing you'll notice here on this Eclipse Black, of course, this shows a lot of fingerprints. They're notorious for fingerprints. This, of course, in Platinum shows the least amount of fingerprints, but it does come in black. That does show some fingerprints. But the oleophobic coating on this is good. This one, you'll have to wipe it down. It's already starting to collect fingerprints, but just something you'll have to deal with. Maybe get a dbrand skin or something like that. But I don't know. That is the build and design. Both are excellent. Both you can take with you on the go. Again, lighter weight on the X1 Carbon versus the Surface Laptop for Business. All right, let's talk performance. And they're running the Intel Core Ultra 7 processors, the Lunar Lake here, and as you can see from the single multi-core, it's not going to blow you away compared to, say, something like the M5 MacBook Pro 14 we just looked at, which had 199 in terms of the single core, and of course multi-core is going to be better than these. But that's not the whole story when it comes to Lunar Lake. You're getting more efficiency with these, and for everyday use, Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, you will not notice any slowdowns or hiccups, so it's going to be fine in real-world usage. The synthetic benchmarks only tell you a fraction of the story. I've had no issue in terms of performance using this on the road in real-world scenarios, so just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to graphics, they both have the Intel Arc 140V if you go with the Core Ultra 7, 130V if you go with the Core Ultra 5, so it just depends which one. Didn't see a huge difference between the two, so just keep that in mind as far as 130V versus 140V, but very impressive for an integrated solution. So where they're not giving you on the single multi-core on the CPU side, they're certainly making it up on the GPU side, right? That integrated solution. So you can actually play games if you lower some of the settings. We've seen that in the results in the 3D Mark, Time Spy, Firestrike, Wildlife Extreme scores, so you definitely definitely will be able to do some graphics even, not only gaming, but some light 4K video editing even with the Intel Arc 140V or even 130V. So again, that is pretty good. Now, one thing internally you'll have to know about these is you can upgrade the SSDs. Now, this is a 2230. It's a small form factor SSD. It is user upgradable, so that's good. On something in Mac you can't do. Both had excellent reads and writes. Now, one thing I will say, this has Gen 5 SSD storage. This has Gen 4 SSD storage, so a little bit more forward thinking on the ThinkPad than on the Surface. So just keep that in mind. Now, one other thing you'll notice about the internals here, they both have Wi-Fi 7. They both have Bluetooth 5.4. And one thing you can both outfit these with is something called 5G. Obviously, being able to use a cellular network, something I wish the Macs were able to do, but of course, Apple has not done that, has not added any 5G option like you could with the iPad Pro. But these do have 5G options. They are costly. Obviously, this one has a pretty high price tag, as we've gone over in the video. The X1 Carbon, of course, it is an option. You can add it in. Both had excellent reception. I found that the 5G on the Surface is really exceptional as far as the antenna layout. I think they really did a good job there. This one had very good reception also, so not really an issue, but very good on the Surface in terms of the 5G. Both have that always-on connection. So if you're on the road as a business user, I think this is a big game changer in a lot of ways. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, Andrew, I can just use my smartphone as a hotspot, right? Yeah, you can, of course, do that, but is it the ideal situation? No, not for the business user. A dedicated line that you don't have any distractions on to get work done is the way to go as far as I'm concerned. And that's just the way I look at it. But of course, everybody's use case is a little bit different, so you may have a different opinion on that. All right, when it comes to ports on the ThinkPad, right side, you get your power button located there. Now, some people don't like it on the side. I don't mind it there. Some say me accidental presses. Really not an issue for me. 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack, a USB Type A, which I love having. Obviously, you know that. HDMI 2.1 and a Kensington lock. Another USB-A, so you get two of them. Two Thunderbolt 4 ports, they are full function, and that rounds it out. Now, if you go the optional 5G, you also get a nano SIM card slot as well as eSIM options. Okay, now on the Surface, you're going to get your headphone jack, a USB-A, two Thunderbolt 4 ports, and then on the right side, a Surface Connect port, and that's it. If you get the optional 5G, which I have on this one, you also get your nano SIM card slot, also eSIM option as well, for those wondering. So I actually been using this on the Verizon network. That has been working well. I've tested it with T-Mobile. That has worked well. Same on the ThinkPad with the 5G that I have. So these are pretty good in terms of the ports. I don't think they lack anything. The one thing missing on both is an SD card or micro SD card reader, but we've gone over that. You have to use a dongle. There's no way around it. Would have been nice to have, say, at minimum, a micro SD. Yeah, that would have been great. You don't get it. Now, interestingly enough, on the 15-inch version of the Surface laptop, you do get a micro SD card reader. Now, the other benefit of going with something with Lunar Lake, in my opinion, is the ability to have good battery life. Now, of course, the 5G versions are not going to be quite as good as the non-5G, so that does take up some battery. And a good example would be when I looked at the Surface laptop for business, the black one without the 5G, and this one with 5G. Obviously, the battery life was better on the non-5G, and that certainly does play a role in that. Whereas this, in the X1 Carbon, in terms of that Arrow Lake U version that I had with the 5G, certainly didn't do quite as well as this one without the 5G, if that makes any sense, right? So that is certainly the case with battery, and as you can see from the numbers, these are very good, even with taking a hit in battery in terms of having that cellular connection. So just keep that in mind. Both support fast charging. Both have pretty compact power chargers in the box. So I think they did a pretty good job when it comes to that. All right, let's talk displays, and there are some fundamental differences between the two. The Surface has an IPS display. They call it the Pixel Sense display. This one is 13.8 inches. It's excellent. It's got 120 hertz. This one is OLED. Of course, the ThinkPad is a really great option. Now, you can get it with the touch or the non-touch. Now, the one with the Arrow Lake U, I got it with the touch version. It is 2880 by 1800, 120 hertz. This one is the non-touch, a little bit lighter. It doesn't have the touch layer. Obviously, that's the benefit there. Some people don't want touch, so again, that might be a way to go. But this one is not OLED. And I think there are some benefits and some downsides to that. Not having the OLED, obviously you don't have to deal with anything like screen burn-in or PWM, screen flickering, like you may have to do on something like the OLED on this. But with this, you do get better battery life in some sense because IPS is a little bit more efficient than an OLED display. But that being said, the colors are just not going to be as vibrant and the blacks are not as deep as an OLED display. So one of the criticisms I had on the Surface laptop is, oh, Microsoft, it's time to move to an OLED. Tandem OLED would be great for the deeper blacks, the richer blacks, the higher contrast, and of course the more vibrant colors that you get on something like this. Now, this is not a tandem OLED, but speaking of tandem OLED, I do have one coming from the ThinkPad line. It's the ThinkPad P1 Gen 8. I actually went out and bit the bullet, took another one for the team, and that is coming with CAM memory. It's going to have the tandem OLED, the touch. It's going to have everything you'd want. It's pretty amazing spec-wise, but hopefully it'll come through in the review. So stay tuned. The P1 Gen 8 workstation, mobile workstation's coming. One we've been highly anticipating and one that I've been getting high number of requests, so that is coming. But getting back to this, having the IPS display has certainly been good on this. The Pixel Sense is very good. The touch layer is very responsive. No touch pen support on that. This one is non-touch on this one, but of course with that Arrow Lake U, I did have the touch. That's just the differences on the displays. They both get bright. They both are sharp. They both play HDR videos. And when you're watching high dynamic range content, it was really a good experience on both. Now, of course, again, on the OLED, a little bit better experience because of the deeper, richer blacks, the higher contrast, and of course, the better coverage of the color gamut and stuff, although this is no slouch in that regard. Now, when it comes to the keyboards, they are both excellent. You know, I'm a big fan of the ThinkPad keyboard. The tactility, the overall feedback for typing out documents has been amazing over the years. This is no exception. I still love this. It's been great. On the Surface, another excellent implementation of a keyboard, a little bit more chiclet style as opposed to the smile-shaped keys on the Lenovo. Those are really good here on this on the Surface as well. I can't say which one is better. I think that ThinkPad has a little bit of an edge as far as the keyboard. They're just legendary to me, and I'm a big proponent of it. This is excellent keyboard. Probably, if this is one, this would be 1A. I mean, it's not that much of a leap to say that. Both have excellent keyboards. Both have excellent touchpads. Now, you can get this with a optional haptic touchpad. This one is a haptic touchpad. Both are Sensal touchpads, by the way. Now, I did have it on that Arrow Lake U processor version of the ThinkPad. This one is the one that was sent by Lenovo. This one doesn't have that. It has the more traditional diving board style, and of course with the mouse buttons, the physical mouse buttons, and of course this has the iconic track point. This one doesn't have anything like that, but you can get this with the haptic touchpad, so just keep that in mind. Now, some people love having that red nipple there, the track point. I don't really care too much about it anymore. I don't really use it all that much. I know some of you do, so I don't want to say, disparage it. So it's there. It's part of the ThinkPad DNA. There's a fly here. ThinkPad DNA, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, that is the input on this. I think they both did an excellent job. Both have excellent cameras when it comes to webcams. Let me let you to be the judge. What do you think about the video quality? What do you think about the audio quality? Now, let's give them a look and a listen. This is the camera on the Surface Laptop 5G for Business. What do you think about the video quality? And what do you think about the audio? Let me know. And this is the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13. This is the camera. What do you think about the video quality? And what do you think about the audio? Let me know. Both have really good speakers. I don't know which one is better than the other. It's hard for me to tell, but let's put them side to side. Let's do an audio sample, and you let me know what you think in the comment section below. ThinkPad.
Hello, honey, how you been? Oh, it's been such a long time. I can feel my heart jumping. Are you still mine? No one ever buried, no.
Now let's talk pricing here, as these are a little bit of a pricier option than your normal consumer laptops. Obviously, these are business-focused laptops, especially the ThinkPad and this laptop for business, hence the business name. You don't buy this on their regular site. You have to go to their business site in terms of the Surface and the Microsoft. This you can go to Lenovo's website. There are other outlets, CDW and other places to get ThinkPads, obviously. But as far as pricing, these can get pretty pricey. Now, Lenovo does run sales, so you always have to check the links in the description below to get their latest pricing. They do slash prices, sometimes 40, 50%, maybe even more sometimes. So you just keep vigilant and check the links in the description below. Now, Surface is a little bit more of an interesting pricing scheme. What they're doing is they're raising the price because it is running Lunar Lake as opposed to the Snapdragon version, which they also have as a business laptop, which is kind of confusing. And then, of course, they have the consumer side, which is a lot cheaper. If you go to Best Buy, you can buy it. This you can't buy at Best Buy for whatever reason. They're hiding this, as I mentioned in that video, hiding a really perfectly good gem here. But I will say that not having this sold to consumers is, I think, a big miss, and I've talked about it ad nauseum in my other videos, so I'm not going to really rehash it here. But I want to say that pricing should be a little bit more commensurate, a little bit cheaper than what they're actually doing. Now, of course, these are both going to be focused towards businesses. They don't tend to really worry too much about the price, as well as more of whether it's the right tool for the job. And I think both of these certainly fit that bill, and they will get discounts when they buy them in bulk. I've said that many times. Obviously, even with Microsoft, I'm sure you'll get some discounts if you do buy them in bulk, but these are not cheap. They are pricey, but I think you get what you pay for, and I think it's a good thing in terms of the overall package is what you're getting. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below. So overall, what do I think about these two head-to-head, the X1 Carbon versus Surface laptop for business? I think you can't go wrong with either one. If you really want lightweight, under a kilogram, you can't go wrong with the X1 Carbon. A little bit heavier, but a more premium metal build on the Surface. So I think these are two of the best out there that you can't really go wrong, in my opinion. Do I have a favorite? You know, that's a tough one. I think I like the ThinkPad's keyboard slightly better, the 1 versus the 1A. Although this one's excellent, I just love this keyboard. Now, I don't love the fingerprints on this, so that's why I'm sort of gravitating more to this sometimes. I'm in a very unique position of reviewing this stuff, so I do go out and I buy some of this stuff, so just keep that in mind. Anything from Microsoft you see here in terms of Surface, I paid for with my own money through the channel, so just keep that in mind when you're thinking about, well, whether I should subscribe or whether or not to hit the links in the description below, which are affiliate. That's why I can go out and buy something like this, $2,000 or whatever it is with tax. I did go out and buy the Arrow Lake U version of this. This was sent by Lenovo, so those wondering. And I did spend over $3,500 on the P1 Gen 8 coming next few days. So I'm looking very excited about that. Obviously, you've been waiting for that one as well. I know I've been getting a lot of requests for that one. But overall, I think these are excellent. Two of the best in the business when it comes to business-focused, ultra-portable laptops that you could take with you on the go. Optional 5G, really good battery life, all-day battery life, and good performance to get work done on the road. Excellent keyboards, excellent input and touchpads. It really is the complete package. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section below. So that's my take on the Surface laptop for business versus the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 13 here for 2025. Two of the best, most popular ones on my channel. Two of the best business ultra portable laptops on the market. But of course, let me know what you think in the comment section below.